Hi and welcome to Healthy Life Hacks. I'm Jennifer Jeffries, the present day wise woman. I'm a realistic naturopath coming to you from the surfing beaches of Australia. This show is for those of you who are wanting to really rock your life and rock your health and just live from a place of prevention, not waiting to get sick and tired and sucky. That's it. So let's get into today's episode. I am curious. Are you the kind of person who worries about things? If you are, you tend to live in the future. Are you the kind of person who tends to guilt trip yourself? Ooh, give yourself a hard time for everything. If you are, you tend to live in the past. Now, if you do either or both of those, this is what today's podcast is all about. Welcome to podcast 17. I am talking about ways to stay present in life. So what is it? What is it? Being present is just not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, and just being grateful and being focused on what you're really doing today and really enjoying the journey. That's it. It's really interesting that, or no, not interesting, it's really easy to be living our futures out of our past instead of living our futures out of our present. So what happens when we do that? Generally, something happens. I don't know what it is. And women, we have the most learning to do around this subject. Guys tend to just like something happens, they let it go, they move on. We're different critters. And so for us, it can be challenging sometimes that something happens, you know, a day, a week, a month, 10 years ago, and we still hang on to it. And when that happens, we are prejudging our future, expecting like, oh, but it's always happened that way. And we find ourselves on a day-to-day life living into our futures out of our past. Now, absolutely, 100%. Our past is our past. I would not be the woman I am today if I hadn't lived the journey that I've lived over the last 59 years. But what I've learned over the years is there's such an importance to not get caught up living in the future and not get caught up living in the past. And I just want to speak into that today because I know it is 2020. For those of you living in the future and listening to this back in the past, it's like this year really happened. Airplanes did not fly. Pretty interesting. Pandemic and everything just changed the way everything is. And there's been people are living, worrying about the future pretty much because we just don't even know what it really looks like yet. And so it's even more important to just stay focused, stay grounded, and stay living in the moment. Because that's all we can do. All we can do with is our reality that is here right now, like right now. We don't know what the future brings. We don't know what it's going to look like. All we can do is deal with today. Plan for the future, 100%. However, immerse ourselves into the day. I think so often back to my mum, back, years ago. She doesn't knit as much anymore, but no, she doesn't. But when she would knit, it was like, she totally got lost in her knitting. She was just absolutely so immersed in it and focused. And it was just so cool to watch as a kid. Yeah, there was times she'd multitask and be doing 20 other things for us kids. However, I loved watching the fact that she would just be so immersed in it. She was really present in it, just being with it. And that's what it's about, being present, living for the day, living for the moment, all those things. It's just about, doing one thing at once. Same as meditating. Meditating doesn't mean you have to sit on the top of a mountaintop. It's none of that kind of stuff in the full lotus position. It just means to be doing one thing at once. That's what meditating is. So I thought I'd speak into some of the ways that I'm dealing with life and staying present amongst such a year of uncertainty. Like it really is quite insane, some of the stuff that's going on. And it doesn't serve our health to get caught up in that fear of it and the lack of hope and the helplessness. It doesn't help. We've got to just stay present with what we're at because those negative emotions will override our physical health every time. That's why I wanted to speak into it. So a few of the ways that I use to help support my body and physically and emotionally so that I can deal with life and not getting caught up in the future or the past. I've been an aromatherapist and naturopath for the last 30 odd years, and I've been traveling the world lecturing on it for the last 20 years. I have lived essential oils for 30 years, and it's just, for me, it's the easiest modality of all natural therapies to be able to integrate into any area of everyday life. So that's why I really like it a lot. I wanted to talk about a couple of essential oils in particular. So the first one is jasmine essential oil. Now, in my book where I talk about the aromatherapy insight cards, that's all about the emotional side of essential oils. And I will do a future podcast on that one really soon, I promise. People are saying, when are you doing that one, Jen? It's coming, I promise. Just breathe, it's coming. So in it, I talk about jasmine. Now, jasmine essential oil, you think of the star jasmine, like jasmine is just such a luscious, heartfelt kind of essential oil. It is just divine. And the energetics of that oil are all about not living in the future, not living in the past, just staying present. Now, when we do that, we actually get our passion back for life. And I'm not talking about the horny passion, guys. I'm talking about just when you've got that raw excitement for life, that raw passion for life. And so jasmine is an essential oil that I choose to surround myself with. It is the main ingredient in my Seduce blend. Now, my Seduce blend is a combination of jasmine, cedarwood, mandarin, patchouli, and ylang ylang. Now, I blend my essential oil blends for the emotional uses, not the physical uses. Because if we deal with the emotions, well, the physical part sorts itself out. My Seduce blend isn't, that romantic kind of blend. It's just not. It's about being seduced by life. It's about using essential oils to keep you grounded. Things like the cedarwood are there to keep it grounded, mandarin to keep it fun, patchouli just to integrate and bring all those areas of your life together, ylang ylang to just relieve the frustrations in life, and jasmine to allow you to be present. It's a blend that I designed to help people live in the moment and just squeeze all the cool, juicy bits out of life. That's what it is. Now, can it work as a luscious, romantic kind of blend? Absolutely. But the thing is, and I always share in my classes when I'm teaching that, no essential oil is actually an aphrodisiac. A glass of water will be an aphrodisiac if you want it to be. Think about it. When we are truly present in the moment with another person, that's when, everything kind of everything aligns. And whether you're using an essential oil for that or a glass of water or whatever, it's just, that's what happens. So I don't see that any essential oil is physically an aphrodisiac. I absolutely see that they help you feel safe and nurtured and luscious in life and so present that then they become, an aphrodisiac's the wrong word, but, just that, get all that yummy, juicy stuff out of life. So that's my first blend. And I use that. I diffuse it around my office. I diffuse it around my house because I want to live that juicy, luscious life. The second blend, or the second essential oil I really want to talk into, is vetiver. Now, vetiver is an essential oil. I talked about it in the sleep. I think it was like the first podcast. I talked about vetiver in that one because vetiver really keeps you grounded. Now, in my Sanity Saver blend, it's blended with vetiver, patchouli, ylang ylang, geranium, and Australian sandalwood. And that combination of oils I designed so that people can stay mentally up, but solidly grounded. I describe myself as a realistic idealist. I have my head in the clouds and I have my feet firmly planted on the ground. That's what that essential oil is about. It's so that I can be out there and I can have all the ideas and all the things I want to do, but at the same time, be grounded so that I can achieve what I want to achieve in life. That's an awesome blend to just help you to be able to stay present. And again, not racing forward, not racing back. If you are into blending your own essential oils along that kind of line, and you can go to the show notes to check this out so you don't have to try and remember and write things down. Go to the show notes and you'll be able to see what I wrote there. Any oils in that kind of class will be able to help you out with that. So that's the first thing. I absolutely use aromatherapy to help me stay present and not do the worrying about the future and being hung up on what's been happening in the past. I'm all about living my future out of my present. So that's the first one. The next one I do, I really focus on gratitudes. I focus on what's going right versus what's not going right. And I am going to do a whole show on that very soon. So watch out for that one. But I do, when something's happening, It's human nature that we'll look for the 99 things, the one thing that went wrong instead of the 99 things that went right for the day. So just be grateful for everything that is. I usually live a life where I'm traveling around the world speaking at conferences. Well, I can't. It's just not happening this year. However, I have grown the best vegetable gardens on the planet. Why? Because I'm home. And I'm so grateful that I'm just eating all of my meals out of my garden. Like, that is just such a cool side benefit. I'd wanted for years to create the garden structure that I have. It's all wicking gardens. It's all self-watering. Like, it's just so cool. But that's a big bonus. I'm so grateful. That's something cool that's come out of this lockdown kind of time. So that's one of the things as a structure that I do, a way that I'm able to keep myself sane and not be torn away from the present. The next one is to meditate. Now, like I said, meditating doesn't mean you have to be standing on the top of a mountaintop going, oh, it's not like that. Just meditating is to do one thing at once. And one of the easiest ways, if you haven't learned, how do you learn how to meditate? Well, you just do it. When it comes to meditating, I focus on a word. So even if it's when I go to sleep at night, for every breath I inhale, I say relax. And as I exhale, I say to myself, peace. I breathe in, I say to myself, relax. I exhale, I say to myself, peace. When I'm walking, I've just come back from an afternoon walk, sunset kind of walk. And while I'm out there, I chant affirmations and positive statements to myself of where and how I want to be. I keep my mind just focused. That's it. So that's a way too. You can absolutely meditate, but meditating really is just doing one thing at once. I promise my mum's knitting used to be like a meditation to her. So it's really cool. The next one is that I notice when I'm off track. And this is a big one too. It goes back to that guilt tripping. So when you're guilting yourself, you're living in the past. When you notice you're off track in life, and if you are, you're worrying about the future, instead of going, oh, I've done it again. When you do that, you automatically change your body chemistry again. Negative emotions like stress, worry, overwork, guilt, all those things change your body chemistry faster than crappy food. Don't do it. It's not cool. When you're off track, notice you're off track and simply come back on track. One of my mentors says, no story, no problem. Don't create a story up in your head saying, oh, Jen, really? You done it again. That doesn't achieve anything. When you notice you're off track, don't guilt trip yourself. Simply go, oh, wow, I'm actually really proud of myself that I noticed this time I was off track. Bring yourself back to center. Instead of worrying about the future, bring it back. Stay present. Bring it back, bring it back. No story, no problem. They are the strategies that I use to keep myself present, especially at the moment. We have no idea, like we really have no idea what tomorrow looks like. Why? Because they just keep changing the goalposts. We've got to look after our own health in this process. So it doesn't matter what you're going through in life, you will get through it, but staying present and mindful in this place is going to help you to do that. So what are my healthy life hacks for this episode? Are you ready? The first one is, think about using some aromatherapy to support you, whether it is jasmine oil, whether it's vetiver oil, whether it's one of my blends, or whether you blend some of your own. Simple and easy. Go over to the show notes at healthylifehacks.com.au and you can see all the different essential oils that I listed there. Go and get that. That's easy. If you want to check out my oils, there'll be a link in the show notes. But if not, please just blend your own. Healthy life hack number 2 is to focus on your gratitudes and use positive words of affirmation. Just, even like I said, when I go to sleep at night, it's like a breathe in, whether you're breathing calm, breathe out, sleep, peace, whatever words work for you. I remember when I used to ride a motorbike, I rode a motorbike for 40 years. Whenever I got on that motorbike and I'd just be out driving and stuff, or riding, you ride a motorbike, you don't drive it. When I was riding my motorbike, I would honestly say to myself, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe, I'm safe. And I would just say it like that periodically through my ride, because I'm keeping my mind really focused, looking, watching, doing what I'm doing, staying so present when I was riding so that I would be safe. But I was also using positive words of affirmation, just keeping my mind focused on that one thing. And then healthy life hack number 3 is no story, no problem. No story, no problem, no story, no problem, no story, no problem. If you go off track, simply come back on track. That's it. Please take a deep breath, Live your future out of your present. Don't live your future out of your past. It does not serve you in life. If you're wanting to check out the show notes for this episode, head across to my website, www.healthylifehacks.com.au, and you'll be able to download them there. Simple and easy. Tune in for the next episode. Make sure you have hit subscribe so you always catch the next episodes. The next one, I'm going to talk about digestive enzymes, what they are, and why you really should care about having them in your day-to-day eating plan. I want to thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it with your friends and scroll down to the comment section, guys. It's below. To have a free 1-hour consultation with me. Also, be sure to subscribe to the show and like it so that you're always catching that next episode. If you'd like to receive a free copy of my Feed Your Body ebook, simply click the link in the comments below, join my newsletter, and you will get the free ebook sent to you nice and easy. So I welcome your emails. You can write to me at podcast@healthylifehacks.com.au. Until next time, guys, remember that when it comes to life, live it, love it, and get on with it.